I know that you do like horror movies. Are there any horror movies that you have a particular affection for?
Good. And I recently watched it and I was scared. It had that vibe, I was like, oh, this is not going to age well.
Hi there everyone, and welcome to Den of Horror. It's really great to see you all again. Now today is going to be a special episode. It is going to be an extract, a clip from an interview that I did a couple of weeks ago. Now the whole interview I'm going to be posting a little bit later. Now it's a pretty special episode. In fact, this interview was pretty special for me, not just because I got to speak to a very good friend of mine, but also to a very talented filmmaker and screenwriter. You might not have heard of van Heerden just yet, but I'm pretty sure that you are going to hear about him in the near future. Yes, I know the name van Heerden is a little bit unusual, but trust me, van Heerden's movies are even more unusual than his name is, at least in a good way. van Heerden is making waves in the movie industry because of two short films that he recently made. The first, OI, is a psychological horror movie that has gone viral on YouTube with more than 1 million views. The second is Hunter's Cabin. Now this award-winning horror short film gives us a completely different take on the werewolf lore. Now I've got the links in the description below to both of those films, so I really recommend that you go out and check them out because you will not regret it. Now in today's clip, Encia is going to speak about everything from Blade to Top Gun Maverick. He gives us his take on why he thinks the original Blade was such a special movie and why it was so seminal. He tells us what he loved about the film and also where he thinks the film could have actually made some improvements. We discuss Wesley Snipes' massive contribution, as well as one of the more unsung heroes of the original Blade movie. Of course, we also speak about the sequels and, yes, the upcoming Blade remake. Now, guys, I've just got to come straight out and say that I made a couple of boo-boos during this interview that I didn't pick up on live at the time. So I'm just going to come straight out and tell you guys I'm sorry, but yes, I made some mistakes. The first mistake I made was I called Ryan Reynolds' character in Blade Trinity the first filmed iteration of Deadpool. I can't believe I said something as dumb as that. I actually didn't know. I always thought right up until this interview that he was playing Deadpool, which is absolutely, kind of silly on my side. Of course, the character that he played was Hannibal King, not Deadpool. That character would, of course, come a lot later. The other boo-boo I made was that I could, for the life of me, not remember the name of the actor who will be taking over Wesley Snipes in the Blade remake, which is absolutely criminal if you ask me, because this is such a talented actor. And you know who I'm talking about. It's Mahershala Ali. So sorry, Mahershala Ali, you are a talented actor, and I can't wait to see your particular take on the Blade character. Now, if you like this kind of content, whether it is my horror film reviews or these interviews, of which this is the first of many, I hope, then please let me know down in the comments below. Also, if you like, please hit that subscribe as well as the like, maybe share. All of your support really helps me quite a lot. Now, if there's anything else that you guys see in today's clip that you would like to share your thoughts on, that space in the comment section, that is your canvas, so go wild. On that note, I hope that you enjoy. See you on the flip side. Now, I know that you have you have quite an unconventional taste in movies, and although you said that you're not the biggest horror fan, I know that you do like horror movies. Are there any horror movies that you have a particular affection for?
Blade.
Blade.
Blade is by far my favorite superhero horror movie ever.
Why?
I've watched that thing I don't know how many times, and I always go back to it. And I recently watched it and I was scared at first, because I was like, because the opening scene is awesome. It's probably one of the best opening scenes ever made. And then it started with the 90s, like pure 90s, holdover from the 80s kind of vibe. I know it was released like around 2000, but it had that vibe, I was like, oh, this is not going to age well. And then I can't remember exactly where, but at some point it corrected itself. And it until the end. The end is kind of cheesy, but it was just such a well done movie such a cool premise, such a cool hero. You know, like the anti-hero. Like anti-hero needs to come back in a big way.
Yeah. It was a benchmark movies in a lot of ways too. It did so many things that no other movie had done before that.
And I just love the way they used time lapse in that movie to because every movie tries to show, you know, passing of time in some way, but the way they did time lapse in that movie, because they used it in multiple ways, was really cool. You can even see the parts where they shot just a guy driving, you know, the cop driving away, and they just sped it out to make it look like time lapse, and it's just cool. I just like the way I just like everything about that movie. I like the way it was designed. I like the way I thought his clothes could have been aged more, because he's not rich. There's always something like that gonna be around.
Yeah, there's all this politics going on at the moment. I don't know if you've heard the rumors running around the mill. There's a new Blade movie coming out, which apparently Wesley Snipes has come out and said is really cool. But I know that the Blade movie, it was a trilogy. I know that it ended on a kind of a bad note. That has still left sort of a bitter taste in Wesley Snipes' mouth. And I think that's such a pity, because he's such an important part of what makes Blade such a good movie.
I talked to someone about it last weekend, and I was like, they missed an opportunity here, because in the Blade world, he ages like a human. He's not ageless. And they like, why don't they just cast Wesley Snipes, old Wesley Snipes, to play Blade? Like, he ages like a human. So like, why not carry on that story? I honestly, I can't remember 2 and 3. I don't even know if I watched 3.
Yeah. Well, it's where one of your favorite superheroes were born. I think that's where Ryan Reynolds first gave us our first iteration of Deadpool, right? I think it was in the last one.
I watched the second one and it wasn't good, and it didn't give me the same vibe as the first one did.
And also
same
Stephen
with the
Dorff.
Iron Man movies. It's like, yeah. Stephen Dorff was fantastic.
We always talk about Wesley Snipes, who was on form, but I mean, Stephen Dorff was as good in every sense.
I mean, he
really
was great. He played that part perfectly.
Perfectly, he really did. Yeah, I'm still going to go watch this new. The actor is apparently, for the life of me, I can't remember what the guy's name is, but it's the guy from Green Book. I don't know if you saw Green Book. Same actor. So I think it's going to be interesting. But yeah, I think it's a pity that Wesley Snipes certainly, it's not one of those things of, you know, he's gotten so old and he's not going to be able to pull it off. He'll be able to pull that shit off. It's like he's
supposed to be old. You know?
Yeah.
Like, if you think about when the first movie comes out, that's how much time elapsed.
It's like, give us Blade with Wesley Snipes. It's like, that's what we want. We want keep the other guy for sure, but bring him back. It's like, I don't know. It's kind of like, to me, in a sense, it's almost like you make a Rocky movie without Sylvester Stallone. It's like, hey,
he has to be in there somewhere. You know?
He's got to be in there somewhere. No, exactly.
You know, having said that, I'm also not a fan of having to force. Like, I watched the new Top Gun. All the flying stuff was awesome. I really enjoyed that, but the story was terrible. Everyone kind of went on about how good this movie is, how great it is. It's like, the flying stuff was amazing. It was honestly like top notch. I mean, the story behind it and the kind of stuff they had to do was kind of ridiculous, but it's a Top Gun movie. But the way they basically tried to make the first Top Gun movie, and like all the shout outs to what happened in the past, kind of irritated me. I was like, just make a new Top Gun movie. Yeah,
did you enjoy it?
Have Tom Cruise in it.
Did you enjoy the first one, by the way?
I remember enjoying it. I haven't watched it for a very long time, but I do remember really enjoying it. Because, you know, like when it came out, you show me anything with a jet in it, I'll be like, oh, it's great, you know? And it was really well done. I just wish they didn't do all the throwback to the other movie. Just write a new one. Just don't have all the old characters in there. Like, no one cares. You know? I did like the way they made, was it Goose? Like, he brought his son into it and all that. That was kind of cool. But I wish I spent more time on that and didn't spend any time on all this throwback stuff. Because I was like, give me another airplane or something. Shoot something. Blow something up, please.
I totally agree. I think there comes a time where you've just kind of got to move on from it. But I'm going to go back and say that's not the scenario with Blade. It's like
no, but Blade is different because I think you could definitely make it work. And I feel sorry for the executive that pitched that and got shot out, because someone had to pitch it. If they didn't, they should all be fired, because it's such a missed opportunity. It's like it fits so well. Like I say, forget the other movies, great movies that was ever made. First one, and you go on from that, and you just have Blade. He's been doing this shit for years. He's not getting anywhere. That's the next movie.
Yeah.
That's him. Like he's old now, and he's not as strong as he used to be. He can't do all the jumping and the fighting anymore. And so like get him, like train someone new, or I don't know, something cool.
I mean, I think that it's going to be. I think with that actor, I just wish I could remember his name. I should go and Google it quickly so that I don't keep on embarrassing myself. Yeah, because I think he's a great actor, and it's going to be. I think it's going to be a cool movie.